What's going on YouTube? Today we're going to do WarZone. WarZone is a newly released room from TryHackMe, and the room is all about blue teaming. So basically, if we have only one task, and in this task we have a couple of questions we have to answer. Okay, so it's all about analyzing the traffic with Brim, Network Miner, and Wireshark. So luckily, you can actually analyze the traffic only with the Brim, and the last two questions requires you to analyze the data or the traffic with Wireshark. You can also get away with not using Network Miner. So, as per the description, a few minutes into your shift, you get your first network case, potentially bad traffic and malware command and control activity detected. You race against the clock starts, inspect the BCAP, and retrieve the artifacts to confirm this alert is true positive. So your team is suspicious of an attack taking place in the network. They did a network capture and they send you the file. The file you will analyze with Brim and Wireshark. The file is a packet capture of the network activity at the time of the attack. So let's put the security analyst shoes and get started. So after you deploy the machine, we open, let me do this from scratch, so we open the Brim from the tools here on the desktop. There is a directory called tools. We open Brim, and then you will see the zone BCAP file loaded. If it wasn't loaded, you would have to import it yourself. Just drag and drop. This is the file in question. Alright. Okay, so here we have the the traffic. Okay, and before we start the analysis, let's take a look here. As you can see, these are all the HTTP requests. Let me do this again from scratch. I have to, because we want this to be clean session. So we open Brim again, and we choose files to import, zone BCAP. Let's delete the first one. Okay, so now it's analyzing the data from the zone BCAP, zone 1 BCAP. And quickly we get this view. Alright, so as you can see here, we have the classification of the events. Here we have, as you can see, it's capture loss. Here we have stats. Here we have alerts. Here we have the packet type, HTTP, the connection, files, alert. So we have different categorization for every packet. Okay, and it's overwhelming to work in this view. So as first, we have to understand how to find out what we are looking for. So we're looking for alerts here. Okay, we want to find out what are the alerts generated. Okay, by the SIEM tools. We want to view them here using Brim. So to do that, we're gonna use event underscore type equal alerts. This way we filter only for alerts. Okay, upon doing that, as you can see, we receive this view. So we have the alerts here. As you can see, the event type column is now showing alerts only. Okay. We have the source IP, the source port, destination IP, destination port, and the protocol. And as you can see, the signature of the alert, the category of the alert, and what was the action that was taken when this alert was detected. Okay, probably this is the action taken by the firewall. And we see other metadata about the event. As you can see, the operating system affected. Okay, so these are the other details. We're going to talk about them. Okay, so these are the alerts. Now what matters is the signature of the alert. As you can see, the signature is showing that there is a malware coming from command and control center. Okay, and the alert category is saying malware command and control activity detected. Now basically this was all aggregated and gathered in the SIEM tool. Okay, we exported the events from the SIEM, and these are the data that was collected and analyzed by the SIEM tool. Maybe it's Splunk, maybe it's another tool. Okay, but that's what we see now. So we see this alert. Okay, and this answers the first question. So let's put this here. Okay, so the first question: what was the alert signature for the malware command and control activity detected? Okay, this is the signature. So as you can see here, if we go back to these columns, so the source IP address here 172 and the destination IP at 169, these are the IP addresses that are actually connected to this alert. So this is the source IP, this is the destination IP, and probably this is the host machine IP address. And as you can see, the first alert happens to be on port 80. So maybe it could be that the victim machine is downloading some malicious file from this IP address. So it's either an attachment or it is actually a post exploitation. So the attacker can download further files from their server. So this IP address can be the command and control center IP address. Okay, let's go now to the next question. What's the source IP address? Enter your answer in defanged format. So this is the source IP address. To enter the IP address in defanged format, we use cyberchef. Okay, so we copy the IP. And here's the defanged format. Okay. Next question. What IP address was the destination IP in the alert? Enter your answer in defanged format. Likewise, you copy the destination IP from here. You enter it as an input and you get the output in defanged format. Inspect the IP address in VirusTotal. Under relations, passive DNS replication, which domain has the most detections? Enter your answer in defanged format. Okay, let's go to VirusTotal. And here they mean, I think, the destination IP address, because it's the IP address from which the malicious file or the malware was being downloaded. So we copy this IP address and we search in VirusTotal. Okay, we go to relations. Under passive DNS replication, we were asked to find a domain that has the most detections. As you can see, we have this domain has most detections. Okay, so this means that this domain name is most probably associated with this IP address and has the most malicious activity according to VirusTotal. So this is the answer for the question. Of course, you have to use the defanged format. So we delete this and we put defanged URL. And there you go. Still in VirusTotal, under community, what threat group is attributed to this IP address? Okay, so right now we're studying the IP address of the command and control center. We see it might be associated with this domain. If you go to details of the community, we can take a look at what are the community contributions regarding the identity of this IP address and the threat group it belongs to. As you can see here, we have mirror blast. This most probably is the malware type. Okay, we have to sign in. And as you can see, we have TA505, TA505, TA505. So if you go to MITRE framework and we search for this threat group, so it was TA505. Let's search for TA505. Okay, let's click on this one. So right now we are building the adversary profile. So right now we are not only doing security analysis, you can also, by doing this, by understanding the identity of the adversaries, you are doing also threat intelligence. So TA505 is a cyber criminal group that has been active since at least 2014, is known for frequently changing malware, driving global trends in criminal malware distribution and ransomware campaigns involving CLOP. Here we can see the techniques that the threat group or the attackers that belong to this threat group use. So we have these: account discovery. So most probably they use ransomware attacks, the software they use to create the malware. Okay, let's go back. So it is TA505. What's the malware family? The malware family is, if we go back again to VirusTotal in the community tab, we see it's Mirror Blast. Let's see if Mirror Blast is written here. Nope. So it's only the malware family. We don't expect the malware family to be written in the threat intelligence analysis pane here, since the pane is connected mostly to the attacker's identity and the techniques and the programs they used. So let's go back, and this is the malware family. Do a search in VirusTotal for the domain from question 4. This domain. What was the majority file type listed under communicating files? So if you go to relations, take the domain name and make an independent search or new search about this domain. As you can see, we have 13 hits on this domain. If you go to community relations, you can see communicating files. This shows the files that were served the most under this domain. Okay, so under this domain, when you visit this domain, you will be prompted to download these files. These files were downloaded mostly from this domain name. As you can see, they are mostly MSI, Windows and Installer files. Okay, inspect the web traffic for the flagged IP address. What is the user agent in the traffic? So right now, we go back to Brim to find the HTTP, more details about the HTTP activity of the flagged IP address. Okay, so in the queries section on the left, we can see we have useful filters we can use here. So if we click on HTTP requests, we will be able to filter the packets down to only the HTTP packets, as you can see here. Okay, so now let's cancel all of the filters here, the pipes, and have a full view on the packets. So as you can see, this is the HTTP packets connected to the malicious domain name. So what's the question here? Inspect the traffic for the flagged IP address. What's the user agent in the traffic? So if we click on a random packet here and we expand the pane on the right, we see this is the user agent. Click on another packet for reassurance. This is the user agent. And down there we have other IP addresses. When clicking on them, we can see different user agent, right? So the answer for this question is this one, Rebol view. Retrace the attack. There were multiple IP addresses associated with this attack. What were two other IP addresses? Enter them in the range format. Okay, so as you can see, guys, we mentioned that we have other IP addresses that were involved in the HTTP packets here. So we have this one, 192.168.27.92, and we have this one, 185 ends with 147, and we have another one, 185 ends with 235, and lastly we have 142 ends with 110. Let's take a look at these four. So the first one, as you can see, it's a GET request to download an MSI file. And given that we found that this domain name is serving malicious MSI files, this marks the first malicious IP address from which malicious files were being downloaded. So this is the first IP address. And the next one, let's take a look at the next packet. So it's a GET request to /data stock force.net Dwight Morals. So this is probably something different. And the other one, it's a get request to slash. Let's go up. And the user agent is Windows installer. So this also could be the other malicious IP, given that the next one is a request to Google. So we are down only to 2 IP addresses. So defang them using CyberChef and you will get the answer. What were the file names of the downloaded files? Enter the answer in the order to the IP addresses from the previous question. So we have to find out the files that were downloaded from these 2 IP addresses. The first one being 192.168.27.92, another one being 185.10.68.235. So the first one is clear. The downloaded file name is this one. Okay, as you can see here. And then the other one, it's not clear, as you can see. But if we take a look at the pane on the right, expand this pane here, going down, marking the packets, going down here. Let's see. So as you can see, this column shows the file names, filter MSI. But if you want a more methodical method to find the file name, you can use the filters here on the left pane, queries, under queries, filter file activity, and you can see only one packet. So this shows the other file that has been downloaded. Filter MSI. Inspect the traffic for the first downloaded file, which was 10 opdr load MSI. From the previous question, 2 files will be saved to the same directory. So as you can see, when we inspect the traffic for this file, we will see, or we're supposed to see, that 2 files are saved to the same directory. Find the directory and find the 2 files that have been saved to this directory. Okay, so let's go back to the HTTP requests. And then down, all the way down to this. Now I want to inspect the traffic for this file. So to do that, we have a button here. As you can see, it shows a Wireshark icon and it's written packets under this. So we click on that and we will open Wireshark to analyze the packets related to this file. So we have these packets here. So all we have to do is to find out the path and the 2 other files that have been downloaded to the said path. So we have to click here on the first packet, follow TCP stream. As you can see here, we have the get request to download the said file, okay? And we have the response. As you can see, the file exists and it has been downloaded. If we scroll all the way down to the last couple lines, you can see here we have this path, C program data local, example RB, and we have another one here. So this one, this is the first file, repol view, and the other file was the same as we saw here in the first lines. It's example RB, but these files are not related to, let me close this here, okay, and click on, because I remember these files were not the files for this. So follow one more time. Okay, we get the same files, but we're supposed to, as you can see, these files are related to the second file. So there must be a mix-up here. Let me close. So the first file, this is the first file, then let's analyze the other file, packets. Okay, right click, follow TCP stream. If we scroll down, right now we see something different. As you can see, right now we see different files, different path, C program data, arab.pin, and the same for, well, there's another file on the same path, executable file with the same name. So as you can see, this is the answer for this file, for filter MSI, and for the other one, we already saw the answer. So basically, arab.pin and the executable file arab here, it's for it's for this file, filter MSI. Okay. Now for the other file, if you go back to HTTP requests, close Wireshark, scrolling down, clicking on this, and then the packets, you'll be able to see the other two files that have been downloaded along with their path, as you can see. And this is the answer for this question. So guys, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will definitely see you in the next video.